NC Fit's social media strategy. How to increase web traffic and brand awareness in 2018. Presented by Armando Duran. Hey Jason, Jaime, and Matt, how you guys doing today? Just wanted to do a quick presentation on my take on how you guys can increase traffic and brand awareness in 2018 through this social media strategy that I want to present to you guys here. So what we'll be covering is first step analysis of NC Fit's current social media marketing status. We'll identify your avatar to get a clear picture on who we're trying to reach. We'll research your target market to see what other similar business models are out there. We're going to establish your funnel's goal too as well. We always have the end result. We always need an end result, just like in any fitness program that somebody joins. We want the end result and revert. We want to define the goal and reverse engineer it. We also want to create a solution in a form of a lead magnet to generate more leads and sales. I'm also going to talk about setting up your funnel, not in great detail, but just really briefly on how important that is. We're also going to talk about driving traffic to your lead magnet, which is something I will highlight in greater detail with the social media strategy that I'm presenting here. And then basically babysitting your funnel, monitor your funnel. So again, this whole presentation is going to be more focused in greater detail on to drive traffic to your lead magnet, NC Fit's social media strategy. So that's my hyper focus with this here. So let's get started. So again, the first step, we're going to do an analysis of NC Fit's current social media marketing status. So when I'm studying your guys' business, I see four parts of it. I see NC Fit, which is B2C, business to customer. NC Fit Collective, which is for the gym owners, business owners, coaches. I see the NC Fit Apparel and Jason Khalipa, personal brand about entrepreneurship, family, and his AMRAP mentality. Really happy to see that you guys are starting a podcast around the NC Fit Collective brand. I love that. I'm also really happy to see that Jason and your team, Jason, is making the effort to do a vlog, the AMRAP Daily. Love that show. And we just got to produce more of that. There's no show for NC Fit, but I do believe that there should be a show for that. And I'll give you some thoughts on that down this presentation. There's no real strategy that I see with NC Fit Apparel, but I do have some ideas too as well. But with the NC Fit Apparel, it's basically a culture, a movement that you guys are setting, of a mindset of what you guys are about. And I'll explain in detail as well down the road in this presentation, and give you an example of how that works. So again, I'm not going to get into great detail on my ideas on NC Fit and NC Fit Apparel, but I do have an idea for both of them. So why not have a show dedicated for this part of your guys' business for NC Fit? You guys already have a show for NC Fit Collective for the coaches and the gym owners. You guys already have a show for Jason Khalipa, the AMRAP Daily. Why not have a show for NC Fit for people out there who wants to get fit and lose weight, similar to The Biggest Loser? Remember that TV show? Or maybe, I think there's another show called Strong, which I think it was just moms like getting fit or doing like these competitions. But why not document a client that just signed up from start to finish, document their progress, like who they are, where they're from, what kind of goals they want to accomplish, and just make a show out of it. The Biggest Loser, like your version of The Biggest Loser show, a TV show that we could use to brand and market the NC Fit side of the business. And also in the NC Fit, in addition to that, the NC Fit Apparel, you guys are a movement, a culture. So just like Russell Brunson, I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. He wrote the book called The Dot-Com Secrets and Expert Secrets. Tony Robbins hired him to do some marketing for him when he had his book launch. But they do this funnel hacking live event once a year, and he flew me out there, and I helped out with the event, and I became a tech support person thereafter. I was part of his team, got to meet him and got to meet Tony. It was pretty awesome. But they're really good at creating a culture and creating a movement. And this is a software company called ClickFunnels. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but it helps you create sales funnels and websites and affiliate programs, and it's really cool. I use it for my agency. It's the foundation of my agency. But it's a software company that has no VC backed, investment, but they create this incredible movement, this culture where people get these t-shirts when they sign up for ClickFunnels, to the point where it's pretty gnarly. Like, I just heard this interview a couple weeks ago of this gentleman who's been paying for ClickFunnels. It's a software that you pay for on a monthly basis. He pays $97 per month, doesn't even use it. But he wears this shirt called Funnel Hacker. It's like hashtag Funnel Hacker. I have several of those shirts. And he mentions to Russell, like, you know what? I don't use the software at all, but I love what you guys are all about, of liberating the small entrepreneur and not letting technology hold them back to getting their word and their message out to the world. And this guy wears his shirt like all the time, doesn't even use the product, but he got caught up in the culture and the movement. And likewise with the NC Fit apparel, I think that's a great approach for you guys, something to think about. I'm not going to get in too much in detail of it. But what I want to focus on with this social media strategy presentation is just one part of it, just to kind of give you an example of how my mind works, the way I look at things. I'm really passionate about this art. I'm really passionate about the art and the science of social media marketing. It's just something I'm so fascinated about. I love the process. So I'm just going to take one part of it, which is the NC Fit Collective and your guys' NC Fit Collective podcast as an example of how I think about this stuff, modeling Gary Vaynerchuk as a reference, just to keep in mind. So we just got done covering the analysis of NC Fit's current social media marketing status. We're going to identify your avatar, and I'm going to kind of go through this really quick because I want to get into the meat of this, or what I want to talk about, which is the strategy. So your avatar's NC Fit Collective is gym owners and coaches. Okay, they're business owners, B2B. Research your target market. You want to know who's the who's of your guys' industry when it comes to this type of service and product that you guys are putting out through the NC Fit Collective. And what you want to do is, when you find them, you want to funnel hack them. Now, funnel hack sounds like a crazy term, but it's basically a strategy that you want to use to discover the sales processes and the marketing processes of your competitors, campaigns and funnels. For instance, when I did research on similar, business models that what you guys offer with NC Fit Collective, there's like UFC, who has a franchise opportunity to teach people to open up their business. There's all kinds of stuff, and you could literally go to their website, opt into their lead magnets, take notes of all their email campaigns to see what their upsells and downsells are, what kind of copy they use, images, and all that stuff. So that's the research of your target market. You always want to have a goal when you start any strategy or any marketing campaign. You want a end result, an end goal. What do we want to accomplish here, and reverse engineer it. So with this presentation, I'm just going to keep it really simple. I'm not sure what you guys want to sell. I have an idea. It's probably the NC Fit, club that you guys want to sell. I've seen that on your website, so I'm aware of that. But, some people don't know what to sell. I'm just going to keep it very simple. Build your email list, because when you have an email list, you have leads. When you have leads, you're going to make sales. So we'll just say building an email list. And then you want to create a solution in a form of a lead magnet. A lead magnet, if you guys are not familiar, I feel like you guys do know what that means. It's basically some kind of valuable asset that you give out in exchange for their contact information for whoever's interested for that particular product and or services. And I would highly suggest maybe an epic ebook that you would write, because you could invest in the ebook, have some great graphics, great sales copy in it, great value for the person opting in, 100% free. It could be, the value, the information inside this ebook could be valued $500 or $1,000, however you want to rate that. And it's a digital asset that you could infinitely give away unlimitedly in exchange for contacts. And then when they opt in, they could trigger email campaigns and stuff like that. So that's the lead magnet part of it. setting up your sales funnel. Highly suggest using ClickFunnels. I notice you guys don't really have a strategic way or strategic sales funnel on your guys' website. There's no pop-up or lead magnet, a 2-week free trial or an ebook or checklist or anything to build the email list. Just like, hey, if you're interested, contact us. ClickFunnels can help you set that up easily, and I used to do tech support for them, so that's another asset, a thing that you guys could leverage. And then drive traffic to your lead magnet. And this is the part that I really want to get into in greater detail. NC Fit social media strategy. That's outside of paid ads. I'm not talking about paid ads, which is a whole different ball game, whole different, strategy and conversation, which I think I've heard you guys invest in ads, which I'm really happy about. And then babysitting your funnel, monitor your funnel. So the KPIs, key performance indicators, what it takes to hit our goal, our end goal, babysitting the funnel and make sure everything's running smoothly. So let's focus on this part. Drive traffic to your lead magnet. NC Fit's social media strategy. So what's the end result goal? Are we established already? Our funnel goal is to build attention via building an email list. So let's just say I'm making up a number here. Let's say your goal is to get 100,000 subscribers on your list through the NC Fit Collective part of the business, that brand. And you also want a 20% open rate with your subscribers. And now to give you 20,000 eyeballs. Okay. With 20,000 eyeballs, you could convert at least 20% of that, 10 to 20%. 20% is pretty average, right? And with 20% conversion rate on 20,000 eyeballs, you get 4,000 sales or whatever you're selling. It depends on the product and the market you're reaching at. And you put it on your email list, I don't consider that a cold contact, a cold market. That's more of like a warm to hot market. So, so that's a whole different conversation and strategy. With 4,000 sales, let's say you come up with some kind of, I know you guys have products for NC Fit Collective, but let's say you have a monthly retainer. I think you guys do have one. It's like $97 or 100 something per month, whatever it is. I just picked a number. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I mean, 4,000 sales at $97 per month, that's almost $400,000 per month in revenue. But just to keep it really simple, we're just going to keep the goal of 100 subscribers at 20% open rate. And again, just want to highlight, I'm just focusing on this one part as an example of how my mind works. Also modeling other people, for instance, Gary Vaynerchuk's strategy. So NC Fit Collective. So with the NC Fit Collective, that's the brand we're focusing on. Okay. You guys have the NC Fit Collective podcast. Now keep in mind, this is your pillar show. This is your one show, the pillar show that's going to create the content to distribute throughout the entire social media world and different platforms, respecting each platform native to that platform. Very important. So as you know, podcasts and audio is going up. People are always listening to it. With your NC Fit Collective podcast, I know you guys are on SoundCloud, which is awesome, but we also need to be on Anchor, which is a huge podcast and audio consuming platform. Stitcher for the Android people like myself, iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play. Okay. And with all this content, you do one show. I would highly recommend doing at least 3 shows a week. Highly recommend it. Easy. Now, you don't have to do 3 different days in the week. You could take one day out of the week and batch your work is what I would highly suggest. Like, let's say on the Monday, we have 3 topics we want to talk about. We record all 3 of them that one day, and it'll set you up for the rest of the week. And I always suggest doing that for at least 1 month, so you have 1 month of content ready to go. It's like your savings account. And so 3, 6, 9, 12. So you have 12 episodes in the hopper ready to go. And once you have that, then we start publishing, and all we got to do is keep up with it. We have that safety net, that cushion, just in case something happens in your schedule, you can't do the podcast that week. At least we have 3 more weeks to actually catch up with it. And I didn't come up with this number, one episode each day. This is something that I discovered with Gary Vaynerchuk when I funnel hacked him or dissected or analyze his content strategy and his production. He actually puts out a podcast show every single day. Now, he doesn't do 7 different shows a week. He repurposes old content. He has his team do a collage of different audios put together. He gets little snippets from keynotes talks he does. So just repurposing old content, putting it out there, chopping it up, making it sound new again, and filtering all that content into repurposed content and going out to all these different platforms. So the volume, the heavy lifting of this is having an episode coming out every single day of the week. Okay. So when you establish your show, the NC Fit Collective podcast, you want to run this show, this piece of content, this pillar content through your NC Fit's media machine. Okay. Now, by the way, I'm going to go into detail on the NC Fit's media machine, how that works. But just a side note, another suggestion I would highly recommend is to pull out a couple of smartphones. In a perfect world, 4 smartphones. But, if you could do at least 2 smartphones on while you guys are recording your podcast. And I want you guys to do live Q&A through Facebook live videos on your fan page and Instagram live videos through Instagram. You can also do that with YouTube and Periscope. Periscope is something that is connected to Twitter, so you can do a live feed there. And you could actually get real-time engagement and live questions in real time and answer them on your podcast while it's being recorded. And ideally, I would love for you guys to have that device that Gary Vaynerchuk has in the middle of the table where they get to call people when they leave their number in the comment section, and we can actually hear the voice of the person we're actually helping. I'm telling you, my friends, that right there will just take your content quality and your service to a whole different level. And it'll take off. And it's just amazing what you can do with that. So this is just a little something to think about. So the NC Fit's media machine. Okay. A lot of platforms to talk about here. We're going to start off with your website. Next is your YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Snapchat, and Amazon. These are the platforms you guys need to have a presence on. Okay. The NC Fit's media machine has to be present. It's going to feed all these platforms to get more brand awareness and web traffic in 2018. Now, just a little reminder with Instagram and Facebook, there's different parts of content that we have to produce within those platforms. As you know, Instagram, you have the story part of it, and you also have the feed. With Facebook, they have story, feed, and they also got a Facebook watch, as well as your personal Facebook profile, which is a great platform if you choose to use it to promote and get more brand awareness. So it's just another way to reach more people. But with these platforms, this is the workload, this is the heavy lifting, the media company type activities that I believe NC Fit is able, and I believe that you guys believe you're ready for this type of workload. Now, this is interesting. So again, these numbers I just didn't make up out of nowhere. I've done my research and mainly modeling what Gary Vaynerchuk is doing with his personal brand and what he's doing out there in the world. So for instance, the very first one, website. When I look at Gary's website, he does 2 blogs a week on his website. On YouTube, he uploads 1 YouTube video a day. Instagram, he does that 4 times a day on both story and feed. Twitter, he basically replies a lot. He does random, tweets. But with my research on Google, if you type in, how many times you need to tweet on Twitter every day, they say a good amount is 10 to get traction. And that could all be automated too as well, if you like. Facebook, 3 times per day. That's what Gary does. Pinterest, my research online is 5 times per day. LinkedIn, Gary does 3 posts per day in LinkedIn. Snapchat, he does an average of 10 Snapchats per day. And Amazon, I think Jason, you mentioned that you're having an ebook coming out, or a book coming out. That'd be perfect for that Amazon platform. So if you're looking at the monthly workload of a media company to produce content, chop it up, do the creatives, do the copy, make sure they respect every platforms, native to the platforms. This is the monthly workload here. Like on the website, we need a total of 8 blog posts per month. YouTube, 20 posts per month. Instagram, 80. Twitter, 200 tweets per month. Facebook, 60 posts per month. Pinterest, 100. LinkedIn, 60. Snapchat, 200 posts per month. And then Amazon, I would suggest doing one really awesome ebook once per quarter, so 4 times per year. Now this kind of gives you a good perspective on how much work this is actually going to take to become your own media company. So the next question is, how can NC Fit create all this content? It's a good question. Here's some ideas that I come up with. Leverage existing content and repurpose them. For instance, I remember you mentioned in your podcast, Jason, I believe it was with Matt, the first episode. Yeah, it was actually, I remember. You mentioned you did a lot of webinars. And my question to that is, are those webinars recorded? And if they are, where are they at? Are they out there in your YouTube channel, or are they just sitting there in the computer, in the memory, in the, in just in the computer, just sitting there? These are all past content stuff that we could chop up and repurpose. And I think that's a huge leveraging point to get more brand recognition. Next point is leverage other influencers' logos to gain brand awareness via repurposed content. For instance, Tim Ferriss and Lewis Howes. That in both of those interviews, I mean, I could literally, the way I'm looking at it, like you could chop that up into 1 minute, 30 seconds, micro content to repurpose it. And not only you're leveraging the repurposing of the content, but you're actually leveraging Tim Ferriss's logo, for example, or Lewis Howes, tagging them in the comment section. That way their people could be more aware of your brand, and you could work back and forth and maybe siphon some of their community so they could be more brand aware of what you got going on with NC Fit Collective, as an example. Start a Q&A show for Jason, modeling what Gary Vee does. I kind of explained that earlier today. It's basically restating that. Use the show as a pillar. Sorry, I spelled that wrong, I think. Pillar content show to distribute content and repurpose. Come up with themes for content, which is a list I'll come up on the next slide. And then funnel hack people in this space that he wants to follow, or you, like for instance, like, come on, I mean, everybody wants to be like Gary Vee and the way he approaches stuff. The problem is only like less than 5% of the people actually do it, because it takes a lot of work. And yes, I am aware that he has 20 people doing content for him, but we can do that with a couple people. Just like Jason, when you went to go see him, Jason and Jaime went to go see Gary Vee in New York. He recommended hiring 2 to 3 people at $50K annually to push this content out there for your brand. I mean, that's possible, and I feel so confident in that world. This stuff that I'm talking about happens in my mind automatically without explaining. Like, it just makes sense, and it just clicks for me. So here's some of the themes that I would recommend, some ideas. I mentioned leveraging logos, big influencers like Evan Carmichael. If you go on his YouTube channel, he has a big following, I think 1 million followers, subscribers. But if you look all of his content, it's all content he repurposed of other big name people like Oprah, Tony Robbins, Tim Ferriss, Lewis, all kinds of these. And he just repurposed it, like the top 10 productivity tips, and he has the top 10 like entrepreneurs there, and he gives credit to them. So that's another way you guys could do it. The next one's photo with quotes, really easy, eye-catching, especially on Instagram. Doing real-time posts, meaning that, Jason, I know you're pretty good at that. You do 1, maybe 2 posts a day on what you got going on, that minute of 1 minute videos and repurpose content. I kind of shot you a few links on my dummy Instagram account on how that would look like. interviews with other influencers. For instance, you're doing a good job with that, Jason, like with Lewis Howes and Tim Ferriss and Mark Bell. There's so many other athletes we could get in touch with too, as well as business owners too. I mean, Grant Cardone would be a good person to do a interview with. Who else? You already did Gary Vaynerchuk. Maybe do one with Jordan. Jordan Syatt. Instagram live sessions, Instagram stories, rants, gym owners' advice, business and entrepreneurs. Hacking culture. An example of that is right now everybody's talking about the NBA and the Warriors and, them making it to the playoffs or the championships. Why not come up with some kind of content piece that leverages those terminologies, Warriors, NBA, playoffs, championships, and leverage that buzz and see how we can talk about what we got going on and some kind of overlap with those subjects, and that way we could, ride that wave. That's one example of hacking culture. Daily grind as an entrepreneur. You're kind of already doing that, Jason, with a daily AMRAP Q&A show I mentioned earlier. Your AMRAP show, I already said that. Books you're reading, Jason, maybe Jaime and Matt. I haven't heard any books suggestions. Podcasts you're listening to. Here's a cool idea. The Rocks Reacts. If you go on The Rocks YouTube channel, he has different themes. And one of the themes that really stuck out for me that I think entrepreneurs could do personally is to react to content that they find on YouTube or wherever. And people do it all the time with movies when they first come out with a trailer, like the Infinity War. They do a trailer reacts, But you could react to other people's content, Jason, on your podcast. Like, hey, listen, this article came out on the Fitness Worldwide Media about how this trend or whatever. So just reacting to stuff, maybe reacting to an old footage of you, some kind of throwback, kind of video that you're talking about. Nostalgic, I think is the word I'm looking for. Other ones are productivity, tools, resources, sales and marketing, tech of the industry like AI, AR, and voice. Like if you guys are familiar with those terminologies, artificial intelligence, augmented reality and voice and how that's going to influence the fitness world. Positive self-talk and fitness and how it relates to business. Some ideas, but I really like this slide because when things are going the way you want, but you're not quite there yet, but you want to feel like this gentleman jumping up and down, doing jumping jacks, or it looks like a starfish in the air, just excited with life. And everything. He has a good team and the content's getting out there, brand awareness, web traffic, and you're getting sales and leads and people recognizing. You're meeting with all these people and doing interviews, and you feel like a superstar jumping up and down at the edge of this cliff. But when I start talking about this stuff, about the actually hard work, the strategy, the heavy lifting, the creatives, the copywriting, the respecting of every platform, knowing how to use each platform, being native to each platform, engaging, having themes for your content, it could be overwhelming. You could actually feel like this gentleman on the right, feeling like stressed out, looking at your laptop, wondering how this is going to work. But it takes a team to put this stuff together. You can't do this by yourself. And it's really challenging, but it's possible. And it's an amazing time to do something like this. Anybody right now, I believe, could be their own media company through just their phone alone. And I believe you guys believe that too as well. It's an amazing time. So what's the next step? Well, what's the next step? I just presented to you my take, modeling Gary Vaynerchuk's model with my expertise and knowledge too as well of what I've been learning over the years. What is the next step? Next step is to go all in. Green means go, to take action. And you guys have. I'm not saying that you guys haven't. You guys did your blog. You noticed that there was no system. There was no productivity. It wasn't consistency. In order for you guys to build a brand, to build brand awareness and get more web traffic, we have to create consistent, free, valuable content. Consistent, free, valuable content. And green means go. And I think you guys are at that point where you realize there's a lot of heavy lifting when it comes to content production and releasing it in all these different platforms. But if I was in your shoes, like if I just visualize myself in your shoes, Jason or Jaime or Matt, like there's some questions I would ask, like who is this guy Armando? He just randomly hit up Jason saying, I discovered you on the Gary Vee show and noticed you're a local here in San Jose. That's not good enough to hire somebody. You mentioned that everybody's been hitting you up about this opportunity. So who is Armando? Why should, what is he about? Like, who is he? So again, if you guys don't know me, I think I explained a little bit briefly when we met, I believe. I remember, yeah, actually I did. I'm from San Jose. I was born in Long Beach, was raised in San Jose. My real dad left me when I was 6, so my mom kind of got sick mentally and went insane at the age of 7 and 8, and so she went to the insane hospital. I was adopted, me and my brother. We were raised by my dad, Albert Duran, which I'm really thankful for. We call him Pops. He raised us, got us into sports. He ended up marrying my mom, but she was still sick. Long story short, from the age of 13 to the age of 18, I was doing nothing but bad stuff, guys. Gangster, thug, having sex, smoking, and drinking at the age of 13. Who does that? That's like right after elementary school. My first time I got arrested was when I was 13 years old in middle school, in Davis Middle School. And so I have a unique background. When I was 18, I ended up getting locked up. We did a lot of dirt on the streets. We used to rob people. So I ended up going to prison. I was still in high school. I still remember the cops and the detectives coming into my campus on Andrew Hill High School. I just got done with lunch. I was playing hacky sack, I remember, with my friends. I was kind of still sweating. I was in art class, and I remember seeing the teacher pick up the phone in the class, and the class was in session. His back was turned away, and then he had the phone next to his head, and he turned around and looked at me with this crazy look, and he said he'll send them your way. And like, hey, I'll send them your way. And he hung up because they didn't want you at the office. Started walking to the office down the hall, and I see 2 of the administrators coming up to me. They know me because I played football, and they're looking at me like, what did you do? And so they walked up to me and they grabbed me on both sides of the arms. They escorted me into the office. I turned into the office. I see 2 cops to my right, 1 on my left. I made another right down the hall to the principal's office. I see 3 more cops there looking at me. And then I turned into the office, and there's 2 detectives in suits and ties and like 2 more cops in there. And I looked at the principal, Richard Frias, and I looked at his computer screen. It was my face. And he goes, is that the detective? Is that the guy? And Richard Frias is like, yeah, that's the guy. They put me in handcuffs. Armando Duran, you're arrested for strong arm robbery. And you say to do all that stuff you see in the movies. So I got arrested when I was 18, got sent to San Quentin State Prison in Susanville. I paroled when I was 21 in 2004 with a vendetta to change my life. And I did, and I'm very proud of that because it took me years to chip away at the old personality. 2001, I started my first company. It was a catalog distribution. 2004, when I paroled, I started a catalog distribution company and started going door to door, business to business, trying to sell this stuff. I still talk like a cholo. I dressed up in a suit and tie. I was bald with a goatee. I probably still looked scary. And I didn't have the vocabulary there because I was undereducated. But I realized I kept saying the same stuff over and over and again. And without any mentorship or coaching, I developed my own script, my sales script, and memorized it. But anyways, ever since I was in prison, I've always wanted to become an entrepreneur. Back then we called it a business owner. It wasn't as sexy as it is now. But it was my only shot because I knew nobody was going to hire an uneducated ex-felon. So that's who I am. Fast forward today, I'm married for 10 years to the same wife. Me and my wife, we have 5 beautiful children. Our oldest child is 9 years old. We got 3 boys and 2 girls. Our youngest one is 1 year old. And we study the Bible a lot. We're big Bible students. And I work part-time at Whole Foods, 30 hours a week. And during the day, I work on my agency, my marketing agency. And this digital marketing industry is something I discovered 3 years ago when I was struggling to make ends meet. And through the hardships of financial, distress and stuff like that, I was able to learn the craft of digital marketing and use ClickFunnels and the strategy and the .com Secrets by Russell Brunson to build my agency. And I'm here now today, still building my agency, not to where I want it. I'm still learning a lot, but I know what I need to do to get to the next level. And for me, I think it's amazing because if I was in anybody else's shoes, for somebody who's been in prison, never graduated high school, went to college for maybe 3 to 4 months, to be able to learn the technology of ClickFunnels, to be able to start an agency, to be able to get flown, everything expensive paid, all the expenses were paid full to Texas for this software company, to work as a tech support virtually, to get flown out to Madison, Wisconsin to meet a client that hired me, to have clients worldwide from Sebastian was from I think it was Norway, somewhere around Norway, I think. I had a client, Bali, Indonesia. Daniel Aaron was a world-renowned yoga instructor. Florida, it's a Vitamix lady. It was just amazing. Like, for somebody to be able to have the chops to learn on his own, to actually learn and actually apply what he learned, get beat up, fail on his face, get back up and learn again. It's just because of the internet. And then anybody that has the drive and the will, I mean, I know I'm kind of going on a rant right now. It's just, we live in an amazing time where somebody like me with my background to be able to have this opportunity to build a virtual business like this. So I just have the chops. I outwork people. I'm hungry. I have a passion for this art, the arts and the craft of sales and marketing. And I think it's just amazing. I think the concept of what Gary Vaynerchuk solidified that for me, following his work for years, and how attention is the real currency, more valuable than money. And I'm fascinated about how the human psychology is still the same, no matter how techy we get with these social media platforms. I'm an old school sales guy at heart. When I made a connection of human behavior and psychology, which never goes obsolete, always stays the same, never changes, and merging that principle with the technology of the internet and marketing and digital marketing and ads and all this stuff, sales copy, creative, it blew me away, the type of leverage that you could create for your business. So that's who I am. That's what I have to offer. My experience, my grit, my hard work, my heart. I love the process of this. I love talking about this. I'm really in it for, I mean, it's just amazing. Like, I really love talking about this. I can't say that enough. It's just fascinating to me. It's just interesting to me. And yes, the money is important, but I'm really in it for the why. Like, why I'm doing this. Like, it's just entertaining, really, for me. It's like a nerd or a dork that's nerding out on comic books. That's how I am with this stuff. So the money is important, but more than the money, I have a love for it. I love helping people too as well, because I know a lot of people struggle with it. Then why should you hire me? Why should you hire Armando? Again, I'm in my drive is the why. The money is important, and we all need to make money, but if we continue this relationship, if we're a good fit, you'll realize that I have hard work. I have a work ethic. I lead with the heart, and I give it my all, and I think I have a unique background. Like, when I contacted you, Jason, I mean, somebody who's trying to get a job in your organization, your company, and to send you the very first email and mentioning that I've been in prison, not too many people do that. When I'm trying to work with you and get a job with you, and I'm telling you that I've been in prison, it's like, for me, if I was on the other side of the table, I'm like, man, this guy's pretty transparent, which I am, and I'm very loyal too as well. And I just want to be real. I have good intentions. I just want to see people win, and I have a family to take care of too as well. So, and that's the win-win right there. So how can you learn more? I think the next step really for us to learn more about each other is to meet up, to set an appointment. Now, worst case scenario, if you guys go with another social media strategist, I guarantee he doesn't have as much as hard as I do. I'll outwork that person, even though that they probably are way talented and way more experienced. I'm just that much of a, hyper focus, work ethic, more heart than talent kind of guy, as I explained with my past. So But if you guys do go with somebody else, no hard feelings. I do still want to be a part of your guys' organization, whether it be a front desk or a sales guy, a membership council for you guys' new gym in Campbell, because I do want to be a part of something bigger. Now, I still have my agency. I'm still building it, but I'm at this point right now in my agency where I really feel like I need to serve just that one person and give them my all instead of having like little small clients here and there. I just want to be part of something bigger, something I believe in, because I just don't work for money. I can't work for money. I have so many opportunities to work for other companies to make a lot of money. My heart's not into what they're selling. I'm into fitness. I have a background in fitness. I worked at Fitness Industries, City Sports Club as a membership counselor and sales marketing guy. Bay Area Family Fitness with Dave Morrison, operations manager with that company. I love fitness as part of my life. I've been working out since I was 13. And I believe in what you're doing, Jason, honestly. Like, your AMRAP mentality, you're a father, you're an entrepreneur, you're a family man. You guys have a beautiful facility. Your culture is amazing. When I went to go visit the Campbell location, they didn't even know who I was, but you guys weren't there. Freddie was there, and I forgot her name, I apologize, but she's the assistant of UMAT that does the finance. They didn't know who I was. I walked in, they probably thought I was interested in the gym. And she was at the front desk, you know, and then Freddie was actually working out, doing something with the barbell. And I was talking to her for a little bit, catching up, telling her who I was. And Freddie just stopped in the middle of a workout, drenched in sweat, to come up to me and shake my hand with a smile. And that right there just kind of tells me the culture that you guys have. And I want to be a part of that. So it's pretty awesome, man. Pretty fired up about it. But that's where I'm at right there. And my cell phone number is 408-600-4814 if you guys want to do a follow-up interview. I'd love to have that chat. And I just want to thank you for taking the time if you made it this far. I know this is kind of a long presentation. And thank you so much for checking out my presentation of NC Fit's social media strategy, how to increase web traffic and brand awareness in 2018. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.